we're live. We've just gone live.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's quite awkward. I can't say I've ever done that before, but we have had files corrupted like whilst we've been
Oh
recording.
gosh, yeah. We lost an entire episode 91, I believe, Pete. We lost 2 episodes because we had 1 episode we recorded live with no volume.
Oh yeah.
We did that like the week after was it Coolio did it? No, Coolio, what's his name? He played
Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg played his entire like COD with no volume on, and we were like, yeah, it was an homage to Snoop Dogg.
That was the excuse we were going with, at least, anyway.
But then
I mean, Snoop Dogg could do anything, really.
Oh heck yeah! But I ended up losing an entire episode because my hard drive crashed. So
that is just one of the worst.
Yeah.
We've all been there, losing work. It's never good.
It's never good. I hate it. It's lost to the ether now, and I hate it.
And what's worse when you do, like, you know, when you perfect something the first time, and then you replicate it, and you just know the second time you've done it isn't as good as the original.
Not as good. Oh, I hate that.
I hate it.
Because didn't we try to re-record that episode and it just felt
like
a cheap knockoff?
Yeah, version. It was bad. It was bad. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember getting through that one and going, that was a really good episode. Yes. Oh crap, the file's corrupted. oh, there's no sound coming through. What do we do?
Oh god.
Well, I guess we're gonna quickly record again.
Yeah.
I mean, if the sound doesn't come through this time, at least it spares your audience having to listen to me, so that's always a plus.
Self-deprecating, love it. That's exactly what I would say too.
Mm-hmm. I can make a joke out of any situation.
So
which is a good thing, really. It's self-loathing. That's just how we do.
Exactly.
Oh goodness. Yeah, whereas
I'm just gonna go and do all my checks and that. So
Americans are like, we're awesome. I'm so awesome. We're the opposite. We hype ourselves up too much.
Probably to a fault as well.
Yes.
I'm your stereotypical Brit. Like I cannot be enthusiastic on command. Like Americans are like,
yeah, exactly.
I can't do it. I can't. Like, I've been told I'm a Carl Pilkington of the games industry, and I live by that.
Brilliant.
That's great. No, yeah, I'm definitely a cheerleader at heart.
Which is good. It's good you've got that energy. I just come across as I can't even imagine trying to be like super. I wouldn't even know how that would look. I've never even tried.
You know, I'm trying to even just picture any British person ever, and I can't. That would be weird. It would be very strange.
Which I think is very bad about us, really, that we're incapable of getting excited about stuff.
And I get excited over anything. It's like, oh, look, a flower grew.
I don't get excited about anything. I just get mildly interested, let's say.
We're geek British. We don't get excited. We get mildly interested.
Oh, goodness.
I love it.
Yep.
Like, it's a beautiful day. And then Pete will be like, oh, it's a moderate day.
Yeah, because as Brits, we talk about the weather, and like everything I've been hearing all day today is, oh, it's so cold, it's so cold.
The conversation of Brits and weather is as old as time. Like, you can never please us. Like, I live for the sun, and I hate the cold, and I hate the rain. Like, I was born in the wrong country. I was meant to live in the sun. So when I hear people complaining when it's hot, I'm like, shut up. We get 6 days of this a year. Shut up.
Exactly. It's like that over here in Ireland too.
Oh, yours is even worse. Like you rain more than we do.
Every day, almost nearly every day. And now it is cold.
I'm sure it was raining like over this weekend when we've had pretty clear skies, right?
Oh yeah, no, like some kind of like tropical storm came through, and it's just I've tried to mow my lawn like 5 times this week, and it's just not happening.
I mean, is that courtyard 1 or courtyard 2? No, that's an old joke.
Shut up, Pete. Shut up.
Oh, I'm thinking courtyard 1, courtyard 2. Am I missing something?
Her garden is rather large.
Great.
We like to say the house is so massive it's like a manor estate in the middle of the
It is a
Northern Ireland.
manor. I live in a manor
To be fair, Americans are naturally have bigger houses than Brits anyway.
And like, and I think an American designed this house, so which is why I love it, and I bought it.
And the size doesn't always matter.
Oh, Pete.
Especially when it matters.
It's how I use the space. But
it's not about the size, Pete. It's about how it's used. That is the lesson you can take from this.
That is the lesson.
I have to tell myself that every time. No, I'm not saying
okay, see, it's a British episode, my friends. It's self-deprecating the whole time. But chat is dropping in. I see you guys. Hey Nana, hey Sincho.
Yeah. Sorry, I am going to bring the chat up.
Yeah, because I think we've got maybe 4 more minutes. We'll let more people.
Yeah, I'm just running the tests in the background just to make sure we're all coming through all right at my side.
And of course, chat, let us know how the sound is over there because my settings went all wonky. And I don't.
We can blame that on the Discord update, probably.
Yeah, 14 updates on my Discord.
I should have probably pre-warned you about that. That happened yesterday night when I got back.
Really? Oh my goodness. Yeah. I never go on Discord anymore. I don't have a reason to. I'm off of all social media. Yeah. It's great.
I have no reason to, except now.
Yeah, except for that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Yeah.
You guys don't normally use Discord for your other podcasts.
We do. That's why I was wondering. I never go on Discord except for Sundays.
Except for Sundays. Yeah. When me and Pete do talk about the podcast. Okay, yeah, fine. I'm on Discord for Pete. For Pete's sake.
Oh, very good.
Hey, I like that. That's my type. You know the dad jokes.
Yes. I'm full of dad jokes.
I'm so glad I got that on the test recording.
Great.
Alright, 2 seconds. I'll be back. I'm just going to check this file.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, chat says, I was going to say to Kiley's computer, eat itself. It wants to. I still haven't updated it from last week. I don't know why. Because I don't know why. I don't... Like, what if I update it and it crashes? See? Oh, wow.
There we go.
There we are. Yeah. Like, you went red there for a bit.
No, I'm trying to optimize my lights here to make it actually you guys the clear image.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a huge lighting rig up.
I've got a huge format neon sign above my desk. So orange glow.
Right. Oh, yeah. You know what, chat? You're probably wondering who this is. Now, I'm going to formally introduce this guest in a few minutes. But this is Simran from Format, which we have talked about on the show before.
Kiley, you're peaking just a little too much on my side on the recording.
Okay, let me...
Just a little bit.
Talkie. How's that?
I will check again on the sound file. I've got to run another test recording. So.
Okay. All this prep work. Hey, it gives chat plenty of time to show up.
It does, but I would also like to make sure that the episode we put out for Simran, to hype up Format actually comes out well, not a complete
best
show.
Of the best, yeah.
Don't worry. Yeah. I'll only try to talk you like forever if it comes out bad. Don't worry.
So industry blacklisting afterwards, then.
Format blacklist all the way.
I was gonna say,
you'll never get through the door again.
We'll have to be like, am I on the list?
I know.
I'm on the list. It's like,
you've hit Kotaku levels when you've been blacklisted.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. Got a bad joke in there.
Yeah, Kotaku's nearly got us taken off of YouTube last week. And we linked to them. And we got a warning not to link to them. So we won't be doing that anymore.
Well, not exactly. It was the fact that it was an archived link. I think
I still blame Kotaku.
YouTube doesn't like archived links. Clearly.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah. Sincho says, "Where's my homie Mike? Shouldn't he be joining us tonight, Pete? Is he home yet? Why don't you keep up with Mike?" He was actually over on this side of the pond. Well, the English side, not the Irish side. Because he was at EGX yesterday, I believe, which I didn't actually know that. And so he's probably back home today. So maybe we'll be joining us, Mr. Mike Tendo, friend of the show. But either way, we're going to be starting soon anyway. P, are you still special recording? Yep. When he doesn't answer me, that means he is.
It's okay. I just thought that was him like trying to express for me in silence. You know?
He just expresses with a look. That's all.
Who me? Sorry.
Yes, a look of derision. No.
Sorry. So, Simran, just to explain, I have a program that I record off of. The minute I close it to go and check the file, I can't hear a thing.
Oh.
Like, Discord is basically running through it, so I'm like, I can't hear anything, which is yeah.
That's his
I should
excuse.
have
Can't say anything. Got it. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
did we answer this question? So, where is my homie Mike?
Yes.
From Centro?
That's what's
Okay,
asking you,
cool.
but you didn't hear me. Is he back home today?
He's not going back to Spain until Tuesday, but he's still in the UK.
Oh, okay. So he might
not be. He might not be here today. I think he did say that he's got family stuff, so he's more than likely to listen to audio. So sorry, Sancho. He may be back next week.
Mike Tendo lives in Spain.
He does.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm very envious of that.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Especially when he was sending us videos of him being in 40-degree heat. I was like, I wish I had that right now.
The oranges just like grow on the trees there, like walking down the street, and there's an orange. Whoop. Okay, it's like that in Texas too, but it's cooler over here. So I would love to live in Spain.
Well, yeah, that's because Texas is basic, like
Texas has the same
the surface of the sun.
Yeah, it has like this. It's on the same level as France, whatever. Like, the equator's here, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just above the equator line, basically.
Yeah, so it shares the same kind of weather patterns with France.
Okay.
Yeah.
Centro said I want rain at all times possible.
Move to Ireland or Scotland, but Ireland, it's rains every day.
England, close enough.
See, I would live in the Highlands though. Very nice, pretty, remote.
That's where my family's from.
Not bothered by society.
Oh, that's what I want. Oh.
I would gladly move to the Highlands. I could take the bad weather if I could get to look at that scenery every day.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine if you have like a permanent remote job. I don't get why people don't do it. Like if you could afford, it's so cheap to buy houses in the Highland because no one wants to live there because it's remote.
It's because it shuts down from like August to like April or May. Because that's where my family's originally from, and then they moved down to Glasgow, and then they moved to Texas, and then I moved back. But actually, they moved to Canada, then Texas. But and it's so beautiful there, and I wished I had a permanent cabin there. I could live there with a dog and just end my days there.
Kylie, sorry, can I just check something with you? Because Discord is outdated, can you just make sure that your microphone is the right one? Because I made that mistake a few weeks ago, didn't I?
I'm pretty sure it. Here, watch. I'll mute it, and then that'll tell me. Did you hear me?
No.
Okay.
Just turn the gain down just a slight bit on the actual monitor.
Okay.
It's quite.
Why is it? Why did it go cray cray?
Yeah. Your gain should be at the back. We've got the same microphone. This is why I'm able to troubleshoot.
Okay, how's that? Is that better?
Much better.
Okay. I don't know what's up with it. It just did its own thing.
Yeah, that's why I was just making sure, because remember when I was turning the game down last time and it just was doing absolutely nothing. It turns out it was coming through my webcam.
Simran's having a disco.
There we go.
Did you know that?
To be fair, I am a disco. If you really want to sum me up, I am technically. Isn't that the whole point of why I'm on this podcast to talk about my disco?
Yes.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
Do you know there's a thing called a silent disco? I just discovered this.
Oh, the silent rave?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the headphones.
Where everybody just wears headphones.
I think it's a bit creepy that I don't like it.
Very
I'm
creepy.
not a fan myself.
I don't get it.
It takes the whole social aspect out. Like,
right.
How's that any different than just walking on your way to work with your headphones on?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's like sitting on the train or a tube.
Commuter simulator.
Dancing. Just no.
Yeah, I can't say that people were dancing on the tubes in London. I'm pretty sure they're mostly wanting to fight.
Listen, I'd be well happy if British people started dancing, because that way at least they'd actually be like, have a little bit of like moxie to them, like they'd actually. It's better than just sat there listening to people like,
oh goodness,
on the train or the tube, just be like,
oh no, oh goodness. See, I can't
doing that where they just like shove from side to side.
Oh, I'm so annoying. I'm just like, hey, how's everybody doing?
Yeah, you forget about the British Convention on public transport.
I do. Like, you want to play a game? Oh, we play I Spy. Let's do that. Oh gosh.
It's nearly impossible in the London Underground. You'll find that out next year.
Oh, like come to Manchester. We're so much friendlier. This is like the whole north-south divide. Like you can actually, if you come to on public transport in Manchester, we'll actually talk to you. Down south, they don't talk to you.
See,
admittedly, yes, I did notice that on the trams that people were actually communicating. It was weird. It's like, what is this?
My half brother's a southerner through and through, and he came up to Manchester for the first time ever, like a few years ago. And he literally, the first thing he said, these people are so much friendlier. Like they'll just stop and have a conversation with you. I was like, yeah. I was like, do you not get that in Margate? He was like, no.
No, it definitely is not the case down in southern England. I can tell you that as well.
I'll tell you this though, Ireland is all friendly. I fit right in here. It's like they don't know strangers. They don't know. They just start singing. Oh, it's so good. Y'all, Ireland's great.
Are you Northern or Southern Ireland?
Northern.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's still technically the UK. Yes.
Yeah.
So
when I went over to Dublin earlier on in the year, like everyone was incredibly friendly. Even though I'm obviously English, and big problem with that over there. They didn't care. They took my money. It was fine.
That's how that goes.
There's something more important than loyalty to your country. It is money here.
Money talks. We should probably get this show started because we haven't actually started yet. It's just going to be like this, just with an official
I think it's likely, yeah. Okay. Right, shall I count you? Go on.
Wait,
Karen,
I said it's 181, right?
That is... You've now made me doubt myself. I'm going to go and check. Thanks.
181.
Professional outlet. Yeah, 181.
Woo! Okay.
Cool.
181.
Right. Okay, cool. Right.
Okay.
I am recording, so I will count you in.
Yes.
3, 2.
Welcome.
Oh my god. Full stop. We haven't had one of those in ages. Jeez.
I almost choked on my own self. Okay, let's try that again.
Are you sure? Do you need a minute?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
If we suddenly see Simran disappearing, we know what's happened.
Okay. Cool. Let's try that again.
Okay.
Okay.
It's time with conviction. 3, 2.
Welcome to Rapid Reviews Radio Podcast, episode 181. I am your co-host, Kiley Wilde. I'm joined by my ever-present co-host, Pete Beckett.
Hello.
And very special guest, Simran.
Hello, everyone.
That's going to be fun. I'm going to tell you who he is in a second. But what I like to do every week to get this show started is... okay, wait, I have to say, our chat is really awesome, and hey, Brent. Chat's filing in now.
Yes.
But anyway, so mild distraction there. But what I like to do every week is check in with our guests and with Pete and see how their week's been. And I'm going to do that now. Simran, how has your week been?
Very busy, thank you very much, in preparation for Format October. But I've also been to EGX this week, so it's been quite a hands-on experience between just event planning and then going to events. Basically, my life has just been events, pretty much this whole week. So busy, but look, electric.
I think most lives are just events over and over.
That is not factually incorrect.
But of course, we will touch on what events are going on and in the future. here in just a bit. But Pete, what about you? How's your week been?
It's been good. Busy. I spent the last 2 days at EGX. For anyone who wants to know, we will be covering that next week. We have a couple of guests joining us who were there at the event too, but we pushed it back by a week because we have Simran joining us, and it was more pressing importance, of course. So, but,
EGX.
Priority.
Yes.
Say it again, Pete.
You are a pressing priority. In fact, I'm naming the episode with pressing priority now, unless we get something better.
Oh yes, I like hearing that.
Anything else, Pete?
Other than that, I can't really go into details because most of it is EGX related.
Oh, right.
So
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
I told you off stream that there was a couple of games that I played that I want to talk about, but I'll save that for next week.
Be fun. It's gonna be fun talking about this
Yes.
next week. But I wish I could be at EGX. I checked next year for sure, 100,000 gazillion%. I'm going to like every con ever next year. Because like I caught Mags's stream on Friday or Saturday. I don't remember.
I think it might have been Saturday.
Was it Saturday?
Was it when you were messaging me?
Yes.
Yes, Saturday.
So streamed live from EGX. He spins it around and it's people I know, and they're like, "Oh, is that Kiley? Hi, Kiley!" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, oh, the FOMO has got me so hard." It's like I want to be there. So next year I will be hitting all the cons again. I'm so happy about that. Like, yeah, been stuck in the same place for like 2 years.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make a decision about who takes the press pass this time around.
Oh no, we'll have to fight for it. We'll have to get in the Thunderdome and fight for it.
I'm not fighting you for it. I know your skills.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, but we'll do chainsaws at dawn. But
pistols. There's always pistols.
No, chainsaws. You crazy? Have you even seen Sucker Punch? But my point.
Well, I have seen The Simpsons.
Yes, we have all seen The Simpsons. But I think that's going to do it for the friendly banter that's in the front of the episode, and we're going to move on to the meat of the episode. So, Simran is the
the meat of the episode. Simran is the meat.
It's the meat in this sandwich. In this episode sandwich.
Oh my goodness. So, okay, well, I'm going to take the bull by the horns here and say, Simran, do you want to introduce yourself formally and tell us a little bit about format?
My name is Simran. I am the meat of this episode, and to talk about the rest of format. Sorry. Right, game face. Here we go. Game.
Yep.
My British Carl Pilkington face.
Oh, yes, there you go.
I am the guy who took on the monstrous task of running format, the head honcho, the mastermind, the whatever you want to call me, the crazy guy, because that's what you have to be to run something like format. You have to be some level of crazy. And what format is the UK's biggest games industry nightlife event. We are a 3-day-long nightlife festival that celebrates video game culture, mixing it with the beautiful blend of nightlife culture in a way that's never been done across the whole games industry.
Don't you love it?
That's a wrap for the episode. Cheers.
Yeah, that's it. Don't you want to just go now? Like, okay, when is it?
That was the meat. There you go. Like,
now we just got to add all the filler to it, you know.
Yes. Pickles.
Oh, okay.
Wait, you guys don't have pickles.
No, that's a very American thing.
I love pickles.
We have Branston pickle.
No, that's
Does
not
that count?
the same thing. No.
No,
you need gherkins dipped in vinegar.
Oh, no, that's even worse, gherkins.
So gherkin always out of McDonald's burger.
Oh, no, that's the best. I always ask for extra.
Someone else who takes some gherkin. I mean, I don't really eat Mackie D's that much anyway.
Yeah,
but...
like nobody does. But...
No, when I used to, yeah, it was always as an obnoxious kid taking them out and flinging them on a wall.
And yes, Brent, they don't have pickles over here. Not pickles as we know it. There's so many things that I'm lacking over here, but pickles is probably number one.
Yes, clearly.
But So when exactly is format? We'll get that part
Format.
established.
The format takes place twice a year. It's a large-scale games industry event that takes place in Manchester for now. For now.
Oh.
Ooh.
It takes place in Manchester, which twice a year, and our next event is on October 26th, so in 2 weeks' time. Hence why I look slightly dishevelled because I'm living at my laptop right at this very minute. But hey,
Well, I can tell you have a very similar look to what Mags was looking like around about the time before and after Timeless as well. So it was like, ooh, yeah.
Mags he understands. We event
Oh yeah.
organised. He was actually helping us pick something up for our event very, very recently, and his exact words were, "This is the shit they don't see." Like this is. For anyone who hasn't seen our announcement, we've had a giant 8-foot graffiti mural made for the event, and
Nice.
you can
Wow.
take pictures at it, and we're giving prizes away. So whoever takes the best selfie, we're giving away controllers and headsets and stuff like that for whoever takes the best selfie with it. And this thing is literally 8 foot. Like the mountain from Game of Thrones looks smaller than it, and
That
this
means
thing
it's taller than me.
it is enormous. And literally, it was just me and Mags lifting this thing
Oh my gosh.
and this thing is enormous. And he literally was sweating, being like, "This is what they don't see." I was like, "Yep."
That's excellent.
Mags unfortunately does not strike me as a man who likes to do manual labour too much either.
He is a man who is very capable of manual labour, and he is an absolute G. So yeah, that man is an absolute legend.
Okay, I stand corrected
I
then.
would have loved to have seen a video of that.
There is a video of that. Not that
I
I'll
was
ever
gonna
release.
say.
It's literally Chuckle Brothers to me, to you, to me, to you.
Well, we have a private chat. I promise I will never leak it.
Oh goodness.
And
Oh.
in other unrelated news, my alt account is no. I'm joking.
Oh,
So
my Venmo is but
so I wanted to ask quickly. So being the fact I went earlier on in the year, I had a wonderful time whilst I was there. I did explain that to you off
yeah.
whilst we first started the call. How did you first come about discovering the venue that was Impossible Bar?
So Impossible actually approached us many years ago. So 1 year prior to the pandemic in 2019, we were actually we did a relaunch brand party in 2018. And we basically did a bit of a mini rebrand. This was when the events used to be called Manchester Gamers Unite, like many, many moons ago. And we moved to this fantastic venue in the Printworks called the Lazy Lizard. And basically, 1 week after our launch event in the Printworks, that venue closed down.
Oh
So
no.
so we had to find the task of finding a venue that was capable of housing the colossal giant that is format. And in Manchester, there's some fantastic venues, but Impossible actually approached us. They dropped us a message on the Facebook business account, and they were literally like, "Hey, would you help us promote one of our events?" I was like, "I'll do you one better. Do you want another event for your
Wow.
venue?" I looked it up online. It was a fantastic space, and I got into the space. And Impossible is deceptive in how it literally has everything in it. Like every booth has plug sockets, there's changing rooms,
Oh wow.
there's in-house catering, there's so much power, there's production already in there for you. So it was a fantastic venue for us to go there, and I had a great relationship with the business development manager at the time, Charlotte Felton, who was very accommodating of helping us bring the event to that venue. So yeah, and it's just continued to grow and grow now to the point where new venues have to be explored because the event has just grown so big that we're packing that place out time and time again.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, Pete, like I said, Pete has more experience because he actually went. But for those of us who are maybe not as familiar,
Yeah.
what sets this apart? What sets format apart from, let's say, your average gaming convention?
So I can answer this one very easily. First and foremost, we are a rave for the games industry. Pete has probably seen it with his own eyes. We
100%, yeah.
we have done what no one has ever done before. We have successfully taken nightlife culture and implemented it into the traditional gaming event. So what I want you to imagine is we take all the best elements of an expo, which is the game exhibitor showcases and the community feel. we throw that into nightlife culture, i.e., the production, the music aspect, but then we also throw it in together with a grassroots gaming community, because what we do that is different is that we actually put the consumer first. A lot of traditional gaming events have become very capitalistic in how they operate. They're not designed for the community anymore. They are designed to sell you products. An event is supposed to sell you an experience. That's why people go to things like Glastonbury, why they go to things like the Warehouse Project of Escape to Freight Island, because you're going for the event itself, because you want to leave there with the memories of it. You don't go to a lot of events just to stand in a queue for 3 hours just to play 10 minutes of a game where you never actually speak to the creators of the game. At format, that is physically impossible. There are no queues, and you actually get to meet the creators behind these games. For example, at the last event, we had the developers of Sniper Elite in a mosh pit with people, like just dancing with them.
That's
And that they literally
amazing.
just ditched the stand and got in a mosh pit with the people that were there. And these are the guys who developed the game. And what we do is specialize in community-driven development of uniting creative and consumer. We bring together the gamers, the game makers, and the content creators all on the same level with no formal barriers. But we also do it whilst hosting a one-of-a-kind event, an actual nightlife movement for the games industry. So I just want you to imagine a rave for nerds.
Oh, you just said
Which,
magic words for me. Two of
yeah,
my
which
favorite words.
I'll be honest, when I first heard about format, I thought that was quite an interesting way of going about, and thought, I wonder how this is going to work, because most gamers are usually quite insular, quite,
Mm-hmm.
within themselves. So, how did you find the first year actually in terms of attendance and ticketing and stuff like that?
So I'll tell you the origin story of how it began. So I'm not blind to the fact that I took the most introverted industry alive and threw it into the most extroverted. The first ever event wasn't intended to be the business that it is today. It was only meant to be a one-off. So when I was in my first year at university, showing my age here a little bit, I was 20 years old at the time, and I realised that there was nothing in Manchester for events. Like there was no gamer meetups. There was very little game developer meetups. I didn't feel like there was anything that brought the gaming community together in Manchester. So I just decided with a friend who I'd met on Twitch at the time, I was like, should we just host a one-off event just so we can make some friends and like bring together a bunch of gamers in the area? And we just threw 50 quid on Facebook ads. We created a very template, like graphic design is my passion poster. Trust me, they were bad.
Yes.
Like they came up on my Facebook memories a few weeks ago, and let's just
Oh,
say that they are meme worthy. Like
oh,
they,
nice.
it is literally graphic design is my passion,
Yes.
and we called it the most obvious name in the book, Manchester
Uh,
Gaming. As I said, it wasn't intended to be what it is today. And then we basically threw 50 quid on Facebook ads. We rented out a small space in the northern quarter of Manchester in this small bar called Dive Bar, and we had 150 people turn up to the first ever event.
wow.
That
Oh
was
my
the
god.
first, and we only brought two consoles. We had a PS3 and a SNES. That was it. We were expecting like 10, maybe 15 people at this thing at an absolute like rush. 150 people turned up. But what I realised is that no one cared whether there were games or not. We were all just sat in this bar together, just
Yeah.
talking,
Oh.
connecting. And that really inspired me. But I said to my co-host at the time, we should do more of these. But then the bar manager at the bar came up to me and was like, do you want to do another event? You definitely want to do more events, don't you? Like, we should do more events. Translation, you realise I just brought 150 punters in on a Thursday night for him. He was like, he was rolling in it. So I looked at my co-host at the time and I said, should we do another one of these? So we did another one the following month. We got 200 people at that one. We did another one, 220. We did another one,
Oh, wow.
240. So we were going up in very small increments per
Hmm.
event. And I started to realise that we were on something special, because at that point, I wouldn't say it was like the rave that it is now. It was more taking the form of this underground, dingy sort of like nightlife bar aesthetic. Like it was basically like an underground club,
Oh,
effectively, that you were going
cool.
into. There was like 10 different PTV screens, but we started being approached by local developers. So the two original developers, who I call the OG developers, were Ginger Biscuit Games and Prospect Games with Unbox. They approached us and was just like, "Hey, we're some game developers in the local area. Like, can we come showcase our games off?
Oh,
Like, you've got like 200 people in this bar." And we were like, "Oh, that's really humbling." And before I knew it, a few months later, we started amplifying that every month. We changed the original goal. Should we start putting like early development games on? Should we start inviting
Hmm.
game studios? So we started just getting like small indie studios for about another 4 events. Before we knew it, we had the likes of Ubisoft and Sony approaching us that hearing out we were getting 700 people in this like underground bar. in Manchester, and they were like, "Can we come showcase?" And this has never been heard of. Like having Sony and Ubisoft showcasing, they had Mario versus Wabbits and a Shadow of Colossus, and we ran this event for something like 3 or 4 years. So we were getting all these big giants come to this tiny little bar in Manchester underground. Like when I say, I don't know if you're familiar with the likes of NQ64 or Pixel Bar in Manchester.
I
Like
know NQ64. Yeah.
okay, so we were the original NQ64 before NQ64 was a thing. Like
Okay.
that's what we were effectively. And to get these big giants coming to you wanting to showcase their products off to me was very humbling. Like, and that's kind of what set me off on the path to do it. So we did a bit of a rebrand later down the line. We just changed the logo. We still kept the name Manchester Gamers United, but we got offered a really brilliant space in the Printworks, which for me was like my big undertaking. And then we went from having about 700 people. We did this relaunch event. It was at the time the biggest event we'd ever done, but we've done many big events since then. And I remember the big moment that made me want to turn this into my full-time passion, and I knew I'd created something. And what kind of drove me, other on the original vision, was when we did that event, I was doing the setup, and anyone who knows what I'm like during setup, like I'm a crazy man, like I'm running around left, right, and centre with my little checklist, like making sure people are set up. But then the hostess of the venue comes down and says, "You need to come outside." I was like, "Why?" Like, you need to come outside. I thought something had gone wrong. I walked out and there was a queue of 1,000 people waiting to come into this venue. And there's videos of this online. If you just type into YouTube, Manchester Games Unite, the big rebrand, you can see the queues going around the Printworks of 1,000 people. It was going across the street. Cars were having to stop to like, because there was just gamers like just queued up outside this, and we went way over venue capacity. Let's put it that way. And it was just this for me. When I saw that queue, I was like, I've done it. Like this is what is missing.
Oh, wow.
Like no one has ever created and you can Google this. Trust me, I have. I challenge the world. We are the first ever nightlife event that has ever existed for gamers. Like I wouldn't really class the likes of NQ64 nightlife event. They're more like a bar.
They are, yeah.
What we decided to become was a rave for nerds, because ultimately a lot of people said I was crazy when I said I was going to do this. Like they said, like you should just give this up and go work in Tesco, because this is not going to work out. You can't take in nerds who are the most introverted people on the planet. I said you would be surprised, because I've just got 1,000 people in that room, and this has demonstrated to me that even the most introverted nerd wants to be surrounded by people that they identify with. They want to be with their tribe. Because I've had people come up to me at events who say they never leave their house to come to this event just because they want to network or meet their online friends who they've never met before in person. And it just shows that no matter it's just changing the formula so that it suits all parties. Like we get people who aren't even into video games coming to our events because they just love the atmosphere of it, because they just see it as this cool sort of tech night out effectively. But the event has transitioned into so much more since those early attendances. To answer your original question, we now get over like 1,200 plus attendees like per event, and we have some of the biggest game studios in the world. We have fashion pop-up shops. We've got performers performing live on stage. We've launched energy drinks. We've done a full Logan Paul KSI and launched energy drinks of our brand with Rafe Energy. We've got multiple. It's a free night event now. It takes place over 3 evenings. We have a dedicated industry night, which is all of our industry partners coming together for a night, very industry orientated, with the main event, and then we have an after party the day after as well for everyone to come involved. We have people travel from all over the world to attend this event. We've got 6 game studios traveling all the way from India just to come exhibit at this next event. And we've got people from Belgium, America, Barcelona, and that we've gone from 150 nerds with a SNES and a PS3 to one of the UK's biggest games industry events, with game studios and brands flying from all over the globe to attend it.
That's
and it all started with a dream and 50 quids of Facebook ads. I'm not one of those hustlers who had like £1 million family back. Like you get all these guys that tell you that humble origin story. It was like, I started from nothing. Like I came from nothing, and they come from a family that own a vineyard.
Yep.
Totally not make a Gary V there or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was literally just 2 literal broke nerds that had a dream and a spare 50 quid, and now it's transformed into the UK's biggest games industry rave.
That's amazing. So, obvious question is, is that what you expected when you put
Never.
that 50 pounds down?
No, it was meant to be a hobby. As I said, it was meant to be something I did throughout my summer because I went to Future Works School of Media in Manchester to study game design. I originally wanted to be a game designer. Like my ultimate dream was to go work at BioWare on the Mass Effect and Dragon Age franchise. Like that was my ultimate dream at the time. But as I started to do more and more events, it and I know that this is going to sound very cliche, and I used to think this was very cliche when guys say this, or like like when you see all like your heroes come out of it, but it was a calling. Like I
Yeah.
knew I was on my right path. And the things I knew it was working. Like what we have done was worked, and I knew that we were doing something innovative that has never existed before. And it shows that it works because people want it and people know who we are. You only have to go on our website and look at our partner section just to see
Oh
and
yeah.
that's just some of the brands that we've worked with. That's not even all of them. That's just some of them. That's the ones that I could put on the site without it crashing. Like that is like who we work with, and that is what we take pride in. And we never saw that ever happening. It was just meant to be one or two one-off events just to bring the gaming community in Manchester together during a summer break. And now here we are. It's a
Yeah.
full-fledged business with a great team of people behind it that are doing something that's never existed in the games industry event landscape before.
Oh my
Yeah, they're available on the website, like you said. But just to name a couple that I've just been looking through, so Ubisoft, PlayStation, Game By. Wanted to give these ones a particular shout out with Special Effects charity because they're a great charity.
Oh yeah, yeah.
As well as I did notice that Safe in Our World were there last year as well.
Very good.
So
Yeah,
would you say that the charity and the community aspect is like a main thing within format?
we've literally raised funds for charity since probably the fourth ever event when it was a little tiny bar. Like I'll tell you how it actually. So we used to do a charity. Even back then, I was doing charity raffles. Now that I look at it in retrospect, it's actually kind of funny. I used to go to traveling man round the corner from the venue and just buy loads of comic books and plushies and like just give these out and to just show you like how far like begin like this will be like the visual representation of like the gap of how far I used to go around with a takeaway tin with a little hole cut in the top asking for donations to special effect to now where we have literal companies donating
Wow.
amazing prizes
Mm.
to and you'll have seen this, Pete, as you came in. Like there's a whole like massive like table with all the prizes on that you
Yeah,
can win, and you just get a huge cherry off. And we've got like company, we've had gaming chairs donated to us, we've had entire PCs donated to
Oh
us
my
just for this
gosh.
thing. Yeah, whoever won that PC was a lucky individual. Was all I. It was a face PC as well, so it was a decent piece of kit what they won.
yeah. I
Like
could see some of the PCs that were set up there just to showcase the games. They were beefy, so I can imagine that one that was given away was a nice one.
yeah, we've even got a Steam Deck being given away at this next one as well. Like
Oh man.
we get all sorts being given away, like our charity raffle, and that just shows how far we've come. So charity has always been linked back because I've always seen it as at the end of the day, I've got all these people in a room. We've built this platform. Like even if we can, back in the original days, I used to say even if we can only raise 20 quid, it's 20 quid. Like you should always strive, and this is where I find a lot of businesses in life particularly lose sight of the original vision is that we all do what we do in some manner to bring some sort of good into the world through our passion.
Mm.
Whether you're a podcaster, you could want to tell the stories that people don't know, or you might want to make people laugh, or you might want to just bring genuinely informative discussions to people's daily lives. Or if you're a construction worker, you might want to build things for people that they'll benefit from one day. And the way I see it is I've got an event there with thousands of people at it. At the end of the day, it's our duty to use that platform to try and just make the world a little bit of a better place.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yes. Well, man, I'm so hyped. I want to go like now. But um well, to kind of go back to the past, I guess we'll say. How did, let's say, like the pandemic and lockdown, did it really affect your planning and sorts of
Yeah,
thing?
it changed a lot. Like that was a very tough time for a
Mhm.
lot of people. Like a lot of events still have. I can tell you now, the event landscape still hasn't like fully recovered
Yeah.
from it now. Like, we're still seeing the impacts of it today, which is very very sad. Like
Yeah.
hospitality in particular was decimated
Absolutely.
during the pandemic, and like the UK government didn't do anything to help
Mm-mm.
like hospitality in the absolute slightest. Like very very little in fact. So we have all greatly suffered as a result of that. But it was a tough time. We were very fortunate that our business has other arms to it other than events. So we also are a bit a media company. So we also work on projects as well alongside that, alongside client work. So we were able to navigate the storm quite a lot. But it still had its impact on us. Like we had to cancel our original return event because of, COVID restrictions that were being put in place, and we were meant to have a huge expansion event into another city that sadly wasn't able to go ahead due to COVID restrictions that were enforced upon us by the local council. And we'd literally spent 5 months planning this event, and it just all got cancelled literally 2 weeks before we had to do it because
Oh,
the council physically wouldn't let us go ahead with the event. And that is very sad when you have to do stuff like that. And that impacted us. That was a loss of revenue for us, which was meant to be our biggest comeback. But we decided at that point, if we do come back, we're coming back bigger than ever. So, it was a tough call, but we got there in the end, and we were able to come through, and we've come back stronger than ever. Our post-pandemic years were financially our most successful events,
Oh, that's
like
good.
than anything pre-COVID, because there was a hunger for it,
Yeah.
especially from the gaming community. Because
yeah.
I don't know if any of you feel free to disagree. I feel like a lot of the traditional events haven't been the same since
No.
COVID. Like they seem to have a lot more dead space
Yep.
than there has been
Mm.
before previously. And because of the cost of how things have gone up as well, we have the cost of living crisis in the United Kingdom, which, you have an events industry that's still never fully recovered from it. It was very difficult. We are one of the very few that I can honestly hold my hand up and say has managed to weather that storm and repair the wounds that were cut. But a lot of events haven't been able to repair those wounds yet.
Yeah. Now, just a quick observation on that. Obviously, you've gone to EGX this weekend, like I have. It was definitely noticeable that it's still there, isn't it? Because of how spread out everything is still, right?
Yeah. And some people still have those policies in place, and it could be the sort of venues they work with still have those policies in place where you have to have a certain amount of distance between it. But I remember pre-COVID, a lot of these events had a lot more content at them, and you're just
Mm.
not seeing that content present
Right.
at them. And also, attitudes have changed throughout COVID as well. A lot of big studios don't want to showcase at events because they've realized that, why do they need to do it when they can host their own digital event to showcase their games off? So that's another reason how the industry has suffered as a result, because now we're struggling to get a lot of the big studios to see the return of interest
Mm-hmm.
that would come from being at a traditional event. And a lot of these events can be quite expensive to begin with, but in order to survive, they've had to raise their costs in order to be able to cope with the current economic situation, which is making it even harder for them to supply the content and value for the consumers.
Yeah,
Mm.
that was actually one of my next questions was how has the big name, big corporation participation, how has that changed? For that exact reason, because once E3 folded, we've talked about it very often on this show. E3 became, there was no point to it. I mean, that's an awful thing to say because it's so important to a lot of us gamers, but it really became irrelevant for exactly the reasons you just listed, which is they can host their own digital, things and save money and stuff like that. So, but let's say this year coming up, how about the big names? Are they coming through? Are they shining for you?
We've got a lot of good hitters coming with us. Like we've had Capcom coming with Street Fighter 6 to come
Yeah.
demonstrate that. We've got the likes of Playtonic, and that's because our
Oh
team worked very hard. And an issue that, and this is what comes back to a lot of my issues with a lot of traditional shows, is they're very capitalist in nature.
yeah. Yes.
They are not designed for the consumer, and also they are using a very outdated model that does not work anymore. COVID has basically irrelevated that. And also, it was coming for a long time. I'm convinced without the pandemic, it would have happened anyway. The pandemic just kind of hastened it,
Yes,
which a
absolutely.
lot, which is that a lot of these events have forgotten the intention they are. They have forgotten the grassroots community. Format will never, ever, under any, especially not under my leadership, put capitalistic stalls and useless. That this is the rant I can go on. We will never put stalls of useless tat on showcase when we can have more video games, more game studios, because ultimately this is a gaming event. This is not a games industry farmers market, which is what a lot of these gaming events have become. They've
That's very
become,
good.
you spend like 30 quid, for, sometimes nearly 50 quid a ticket a day just to
Yes.
go to these. And then you're going in there. There's one event that I won't name, but I went to it like earlier this year, and I went in and I was like, "Is this your game section? You have
Mm-hmm.
you have luckily maybe 15 here at an absolute like, and it's all just stalls trying to sell you stuff. And to me, I was like, wait, I have more game studios at a rave for the games industry showcase. I have, well, at our May event, we had 3 floors of game studios. Now, even though I've got rid of the third floor this time for a content creator lounge, I still have the same number of game studios that were on showcase at May's event, and there's even more games because some of the game studios are going to rotate between the number of products that they have to showcase at this next event than I did my last event. And for some of these mega corporations and mega events to have less games than a smaller event than such as me on showcase with the large budgets they have just shows that they don't understand their audiences anymore. Like they care more about making more profit and selling you products than they do. And the issue is they host these large venues which are massively expensive to rent, so you have to try and recoup that money by having it filled with all these stalls because they're the ones that are willing to pay it. But at the end of the day, the community don't want these big halls. Like if you're going to go big, it needs to be a spectacle, not a games industry farmers market. For me, the pinnacle I've always hosted it to was EGX Earl's Court or the likes of Gamescom. Like those guys do an absolute spectacle of how the minute you walk in, it's designed for the gaming community. And EGX Earl's Court back in the day was, I remember what that was my first ever EGX, and that was the first time I went to a convention. You walked in, there was a giant jumbo screen. As soon as you walked in, it was a magical experience. Yeah, that was the year that Assassin's Creed Black Flag was coming out, and to me, that was amazing. And that's what events have forgotten as they've gone away. It's become more about selling product than it has about selling an experience. And for me, we have a few vendors, but I'll walk you through how those vendors work. We have a fashion pop-up shop selling clothes. Now, if you went to a traditional event, it would just be a bunch of clothes on hangers. They'd go, what shirt you want? What we have at our event is character customization clothing. So we have a fashion pop-up shop with a printing press that's going to let you make your own characters onto a shirt and print them.
Oh, that's so cool.
Here's the kind of thing we do.
Cool.
Because we understand the culture. We understand the culture, what they want. We've taken gamification and put it into the Starvins. We have the likes of Wraith Energy, who we've launched energy drinks with. You don't have to buy anything. They give all their stuff away for free. Like you literally do not have to buy a single thing there if you don't want to. They'll give you an energy drink for free, even if you want to try it. Because for me, that's not what it's about. I have 3 key demographics at my event. I have gamers, game makers, and content creators. And I will only work with brands and partners, retail partners, exhibitors who I feel like benefit one of those 3 demographics that attend. Because ultimately, these events are not becoming for the gaming community. They have forgotten the community aspects that they were founded on to do, which is bring the gaming community together. It's become about trying to recoup losses, recoup money, which does happen when you keep growing, but you have to make sure that you keep sight of your original vision when you set out on these things, which is you need to remember what you've designed this for, which is to bring the gaming community together.
Go ahead, Pete.
No, you carry.
I have spoke on this show. We did an entire episode on it. I went to a gaming show over here, a big known, very name brand show over here, and it's exactly what you said. The tickets were very expensive. I did get to meet Call Me Kevin, which was the highlight, but outside of that, they had no games except for I think Ghost Recon was the only game they had. Everything else was just sellers, just vendors.
And that was a bad Ghost Recon as well, unfortunately.
Yes, it was. And then they did have a very good cosplay contingency, and that part was cool, but that's still not worth the ticket. And then obviously they had the esports. But it was extremely disappointing. I walked the entire floor in probably less than 20 minutes. And
I'll tell you this I'll tell you this now at format, and again, because I come from a game design background, this is how I've designed the event. If you wanted to play every single game at format, watch every stage performance, and participate in everything, and this is assuming that there are no other people in the rooms when you're trying to get onto them, it would take you at least an hour and a half to be able to play every single, and this is assuming that no one else is playing them and you can just jump into straight thing. Because for you to be able to play each of the 15-minute demos of all the different games that are there, that would take you at least an hour and a half, and then you've got the stage performances in there. Because I believe in adding value to the
Yes.
consumer. You understand, and our ticket prices are also very fair. We charge £8 a ticket to be able to come to this because that is what you can come to. Because again, we're in a cost of living crisis, and
Oh, that's
people have to
right.
travel for these things. A lot of these events don't understand that people travel. They've got hotel costs, they have
Mm-hmm.
travel costs to take into consideration. The last thing you want is for them to buy a ticket and they don't feel like they get value out of the ticket.
Holy
Mm.
crap. Yeah, that's
Oh,
amazing value. Go ahead, Pete.
yeah, it was amazing value, and also like one of the things that, as someone who was covering the event for my Nintendo 64, I thought one of the really nice things that you did was gave 4 tickets to us so that I could hand them out to people who may have wanted to go. So
Yeah.
I managed to round up a bunch of random individuals to go and have a fun night out, and I made some friends out of it. It was great.
Yeah, that's exactly the point. At the end of the day, like we seek our tribe, we seek our
Yes.
people, and we work with press, we work with creators. We don't just offer them a free complimentary ticket to turn up all on their own. Like if you want to bring someone with you, because we understand what it's like coming to these events. Like I go to these events on business, and even I don't like going to them on my own. Like I like having someone to communicate with.
Yeah.
That's why I drag our community manager everywhere I go now with me. But
That's how
jokes
I.
aside, I know he knows I'm only joking with him. But at the end of the day,
Yeah,
we understand the importance again, bringing it back to that keyword that you'll hear me beat over the head repeatedly: grassroots community. It is about the community, and we forge strong communities when we all stand together, and that
Yeah.
is what it is about. And that is what these events have forgotten. Like they are too spread out, they are too big, and there's nothing forcing you to interact with the people that you're there to connect with, which is your community. At Format, we deliberately choose, and I know a lot of people have thoughts and opinions on this because they want it to be more like the traditional cons, like and more of the traditional conventions. But I'm very open honest about this. Format is a different type of event, and we understand this event might not be for everyone. This is not, if you want a convention, that is not what we are here to provide. We are here to provide you with a rave for the games industry. We deliberately pick tight spaces that force you to communicate, that force you to interact.
That's
There is no escape. Whether it's the bar areas, the get beer gardens, the main show floor, the content creator lounge. The reason we are called the ultimate gaming social is because we have found on the principle of forcing you to socialize with people. Because at the end of the day, if you go to a traditional con, you can walk. Oh, it's too spread out. It's too big. There's too many opportunities for you to escape, which makes me sound like a crazy person. But there is a reason for why we design it the way it is. It's because it's meant to bring back that community aspect that has been lost. The reason why E3 was initially so successful is because it was about the community and providing community value. And like a lot of traditional events, it became very capitalistic as it got older and older in its lifetime,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what we desperately do not do.
yeah,
Period.
we absolutely all remember those days where you used to hover around a small TV, a bunch of guys in a room just playing games together, and
Yeah.
I definitely got that feel from Format when I went earlier on in the year, and it was a breath of fresh air actually. After spending so many years going to conventions and feeling like they were a bit lifeless, let's say, this one definitely had a personality.
The issue that you have with a lot of conventions as well is that there's no attempt to make the creative and the consumer interact. So you will queue up for 3 hours, you will get to the front of the queue, they will slap headphones on you, you will sit at that computer for 15 minutes, you will play the demo, they will take the headphones off you and they will shoo you on to the next
Mm,
person. Okay. At Format, you literally have to interact with the person that like you have to interact with the creators of the game. It's encouraged in that atmosphere for you all to talk, and it has all the built-in couches. We work with noble chairs to have like fancy gaming chairs as well, because we understand we want it to look the part as well. We want this thing to feel like how it's meant to look as well, which is a nightclub for nerds effectively.
Yeah, I
we
love
put a
that.
lot we put a lot of thought and effort into the production, but we also do things that have never been done before, because we're a team of people that don't just have hobbies in the games industry. The reason why a lot of people tell me like, what's to stop someone else from the games industry from doing this, and I say I'll give you the same answer, and you can listen to any podcast when anyone asks me this question, is I challenge someone from the games industry to do this, because you'll give up in a
Mm-hmm.
month. Because I had a lot more hair when I started this journey. And let's just say that it is a huge challenge because it takes someone who understands both those cultures. The reason why no one in the games industry being able to do it is because naturally the games industry is quite introverted.
Yes.
They don't go to a lot of nightlife events. Like I love things like the Warehouse Project. I love the Hacienda. I love Escape to Freight Island, Glastonbury. I go to these things. I understand what makes them special, and it is that community that you're surrounded by people who are there for an experience. And that is why it took someone like us, our team, who understand both worlds, to craft something that bridges the gap between those two worlds. And format, as I say, it's a very different kind of event. We are not a convention, we are not a con, and we're not a conference. We own what we are, which is we are a free night long nightlife movement for the games industry.
That's amazing. That actually goes seamlessly into chat's question, Pete. If you want to ask that,
Yep.
that's like perfect.
Yep. So Brent put, if you were to put into percentages, what is the ratio of games versus rave?
Oh, so in terms of the actual rave, so I'd say it's pretty much so. It depends. It's a very hard thing to ratio that because it's a very open-ended question. So you have two full floors of game studios showcasing to the public, ranging all the way from AAA all the way down to indie, and then you'll have like the third floor, which is the content creators lounge, where content creators will live stream from the event, where they can broadcast the event and play the games that are on showcase. So our game studios get to submit their keys to the content creator, so they get extra publicity, which doesn't get offered at a lot of these conventions. And then also you have music performances. So it's there's no way to answer that. I thought you were going to ask like what's the demographic of people that attend. Like I was ready to hit you with some really good things. But in terms of ratio, there isn't really. It's a very difficult one because the two complement each other. So you'll be sat downstairs playing. For example, we've got Capcom Street Fighter 6 at the event. Okay, you'll be sat there playing Capcom Street Fighter 6, whereas in the meantime, you'll have the David Wise 5 performing on stage like behind you. You've got all the music and the production, and so there's no real like the rave is taking place whilst you're also interacting with the video game aspect. If that answers the question, like there is no like, oh, it's 60% rave and 40% gaming. Like the two are always going on in sync with each other at the same time.
Yeah, because I remember last year you had the DJ booth, or earlier on in the year you had the DJ booth, and then right next to it you had a VR section. So,
Yeah.
so you got a load of people dancing next to people playing like some weird sports VR games, and it was really, really interesting and cool.
I've got three DJs I've got three different DJs, and I've got three separate on-stage music performances as well as the charity raffle. So we've got the David Wise 5. To anyone who doesn't know who the David Wise 5 are, this is what the Nintendo fans are about to love. We have got the original music composers of Diddy Kong and Donkey Kong Racing, Ukulele, Mario, Snake Pass, Banjo Koozie, and GoldenEye 007 coming on stage to perform their iconic game soundtracks live in a dedicated 45-minute performance. And then we go from that to two urban rap grime artists, and then we're gonna have a hard rock punk band come on in the evening. So and then we've got three different types of DJ who specialize in R&B, house, bit of techno, and then you've got the ones who go full electric. We've catered to every type of individual and like I said, we in this shows in a lot of things. We also try and get a wide variety of different games as well. So we try and get story-based games. We try and get multiplayer. We've got a lot of VR games at this next one. We really do think about how to add value and diversity in what we do as well. So you've got retro games there, like you've got Arcade Club with their arcade zone on the third floor as well. But if you don't want retro is not your thing. You want more modern. You got Street Fighter downstairs, and you've got Playtonic downstairs, who are a massive game publisher. And then you've got all these different experiences. And yes, I have got a few little horror experiences because it was Halloween. I tried my absolute best to get as many horror games as possible. Like I got a few. I got a few for you. Don't worry. I got a few horror games. I managed to do that. But that's what we'd like to do. Like in the terms of the ratio is that we try and offer a bit of everything, and everything blends really well. It is very difficult to explain unless someone like Mike has attended and they understand that it isn't a case of like if you're playing a game you're not interacting with the rave. You're always interacting with it in some level. Like even if you're on the first floor or even if you're in the beer garden, you can still hear the DJs like inside the venue performing. If you're socializing in the beer garden, at no point can you not interact with the atmosphere and the journey that the event takes you on.
Yeah, because I remember being out in that beer garden. It was a warm, lovely, nice May evening. when I went, and there were so many people out in that beer garden just having a good laugh, like, and you could just talk to anyone whilst you were there, but you could still hear the DJ, you could still see people playing games, having fun, doing the usual. So it really was unique. It really was a very interesting one. And also, any event that manages to have an arcade cabinet for Bishy Bashy Special, you're
Oh,
in.
I've got more than Arcade Club in terms of arcade modes for you this time. Like, I think I can give you one exclusive. We've got our partners at Quoda flying out some of So I don't know if any of you saw them at Gamescom. Xbox Game Pass have made their own arcade cabinets where you can play
Mm.
Xbox Game Passes
Oh wow.
in an arcade cabinet that has like a little mini plasma screen inside it. They've imported two of those for this event so that are going to.
Amazing.
And then we've also got the guys at Arcade Pop Up as well coming with like their like VR arcade setups. Like that's a very weird one. I can't even describe that one to you. You just have to come and experience that. It's a VR arcade cabinet. Like it's the
That's
only way I can
crazy.
describe it. Yeah. Like we go all out. We always get the best and brightest of the games industry on very creative projects. You cannot say that there isn't a game there for you, whether you're
Yeah.
the indie game lover or whether you're mainstream Capcom beat 'em up lovers, or if you love intense
Sweet.
story based games, or if you like shooters, or if you like VR. There is something there for you.
Oh wow.
Okay. And as you've mentioned it, you've teased us with this one. Let's talk key demographics, shall we?
Okay, okay.
I'll let you run with this.
Yeah,
The
okay.
floor's yours.
I can tell you what our in terms of key demographics. So we have everyone ranging from all the way from all multiple genders and races from all over the world. I say we have people travel from all over the world to attend this event, which is very humbling for us. And in terms of our key demographics, this is the one that surprises me the most. Actually, our key demographic is 25 to 35-year-olds, whereas I thought it would be the younger generation. It's actually
Right?
they're our second biggest one, which is 18 to 25-year-olds. But it is everyone coming together from the industry. It doesn't matter where you're from or where you are. Everyone comes to this thing. As I really do highlight, you'll probably get sick of it. We get people travel from all over the country and the world. Like we have people come from Scotland, Wales, Ireland. We've got people coming from India. We've got people coming from Barcelona. We've got people coming from Spain. We've got people. I know Barcelona's in Spain, but point being is other
Yeah.
parts of Spain.
Yeah.
And then we've got people coming from Belgium. We've got one person coming from America. We've got someone coming from
Wow.
Romania. We've got one of the content creators who's inviting someone from Romania to come to the event, like just to come and travel. Like people travel from all over to this event, and it's a beautiful blend of gamers, content creators, and the game industry all together. So, at a lot of events, you'll always find that the games industry audiences don't interact with the gamers, and then the content creators don't interact with the games industry people. And I don't like it. This is what drove me to create format: is that there is nothing forcing that communication between these different demographics. At format, as I highlighted earlier in the podcast, there are mosh pits. And we had the developers of games in a mosh pit with content creators. Like you might have missed this like earlier in the podcast. You might have missed this. I don't know what time you left when you were at the event, but there was a full. I don't. Were you there for the rap artist performance?
I might have just gone by then.
Yeah, right. You missed the rap artist. Like he got a full mosh pit going, and
That's
there was like
amazing.
developers in there mixing with the cosplayers, and they were just going for it, like chanting like one more song, and then the
Oh,
whole
I love
mosh.
it.
Yeah, they were
I'm
just
so
going for
pissed I
it.
missed that. Mosh pit used to be my thing back when I was 18.
Yeah.
Could relive the glory days.
Yeah. I hope the guys at Radical Forge make good on their promise to form another mosh pit when the punk rock band comes on stage. But again, the rap artists, they've promised they're going to bring it. Like these are hype guys; they exist to
Oh,
bring
nice.
it out. And you're getting free music performances at this thing, as well as a charity raffle, as well as free different DJs. And that these are very good DJs. We don't work with bad people.
Oh my
Like
goodness.
you're getting galore of talent on that stage, and we have like the cosplay charity raffle as well, where a bunch of our cosplayers come on stage and they give the prizes out to
Oh,
people
wow.
live on stage and they draw the winners out, things like that.
Yeah. Cosplay is very important to me. So I like to hear that it's part of
I
it.
I have the best cosplayers I've ever had at a form
Oh,
event come into
wow.
this one. I have an actual Big Daddy from Bioshock.
Oh my
The-
gosh.
and he has the drill. It is a
Oh,
moving drill. I've got an actual alien from Alien versus
oh
Predator. No, not
wow.
alien, sorry, Predator. An actual Predator, like full blown. Like the guy
Oh
looks like
wow.
he's walked off the set. and everything. We've got, I think our Iron Man's coming back again. He's coming back with his starter stuff, which is great. We've got the Techno Spartans. Is anyone, you might have seen those guys last time when you came, Pete, with the lasers that fire everywhere.
Yes, I did. They were incredible.
Oh, and they're doing a dance performance for you this time as well. So, I will say a bit of like ahead of the start. Like on Tuesday, we will be releasing the full like lineup of times that you can expect all performances to be live at, and they're on the Skiddle page anyway. You can see them on the Skiddle page if you want to know what time things are at. But we are formally releasing what time everything starts on Tuesday.
Amazing. I will be sure to link it once it comes out, of course. And we'll put links in the description for the show so everyone can check it out when they got a chance.
This sounds so fun. I'm like,
I think I'm not going to toot my own horn. We are fun. Like even I have fun. Like generally, event organisers get sick of their own events. Like towards the end, I don't get me wrong. The setup process is like the bit where you hate it, but when I see people at the event, that is my reward for me. Like seeing people enjoy it, have a good time, and engage with it. And yes, I will join the mosh pit for one. I did it last time for 2 minutes, for 2 whole minutes. I forgot I was running the event last time. I guarantee that I will be in one of those mosh pits at some point, just having a good time.
So Kylie, when are you booking your ticket?
Yeah, I know. I'm like so high. I wish I could go this year. Next time though, I'm there.
Being a different city then.
Oh, okay, we'll see. I get to see all the new stuff. But we do have to ask the serious questions. So 2 serious questions.
Okay.
One, is there like a, let's say, a chill out spot or something for any people who are inclined to get overstimulated, that type of thing?
Yeah, so you have the beer garden, which a lot of people choose to go to. So if you're a content creator and like the main event is too much for you, we do have the creator lounge, which will be accessible to everyone. So applications have closed, but the people who have been accepted will get an email to that. But then also the the lounge will be open to anyone who wants to go in. You just have to be able to verify that you are a content creator, and that's a very chill out zone that people can go there. And if you're not a content creator, you're a dev and you're getting very overstimulated, there is the beer garden that you can go to, which is a very nice chill out space that Pete will be able to like tell you how that kind of ran is. That if you do find the event too much, you can just go chill in like the beer garden. It's not too loud, like, you know, the music does travel from outside, but it's not too loud. It's a nice ambience, and you can sit out there, chill, bring a drink with you. And the event, you don't even have to come to this event to drink. We have people who don't even drink come to this event. There's plenty of non-alcoholic options as well.
Pete doesn't
available
drink.
behind the bar. So Pete will be able to tell you that you don't have to drink to enjoy this event. Like, you literally do not have to be a drinker to enjoy this event. Like, you can just turn up and chill. And you can always go into the beer garden if you just want that space where you can just recoup, refresh, have a bit of a chill and a breather, then go back out. We take that stuff very seriously.
Yeah, I've mentioned on the show before, I'm on the spectrum, obviously. So people like me who are still very social and stuff, but you can still get overwhelmed. So for me, I always have to have a chill out spot just in case. In case. So it's always good to hear that. And then next serious question, just because it has to be asked, we'll talk safety. As far as it's a drinking event, like there are people who drink and stuff like that. So, you know, how's that roll? You know, is it typically a low key type? No, is it a typically like low key thing, or you know?
No, we take security very serious. So we have security on the door at all times, checking tickets as soon as you come in. And we also have our team walking around the venue the entire time, making sure stuff like this. At the end of the day, we are aware. I'm very proud to say that in nearly 9 years of events, we have not had a single theft. We have not had anyone be able to take equipment. We've not had any fights break out. There was one time 2 developers like nearly got into fisticuffs during setup, but that was just, that was an entirely different thing in itself. In terms of the actual event, we've never had any fight. We've never had anything like that because we have zero tolerance of it. If you kick off, you're getting out, period. And that's what we have security for, as well as our own team.
That's great to hear. That's very good.
Yeah, and we found as well with the gaming community, they're generally very respectful. It's not like you're dealing with non-games industry. Like a lot of them generally are just chill people. Like a lot of them are too introverted to kick off with you anyway.
Exactly.
So if anyone ever did do that, like our security are on hand. Like the venue don't tolerate it, and neither do we.
Yeah. Roughly how big is the team of people that are organising format? Obviously, you've got yourself and your co-organizer, but in terms of, are they full-time staff or are they volunteers that just volunteer their time to help you out?
So it ranges. So there's myself and my co-host who are full time that work on this. So I say there's other arms to the business. Then a lot of the team are freelancers who work as this as kind of like the side projects that they do. So our community manager, our brand execs, our freelancers who work with us. We have another team member who is actually being announced on Thursday, joining with us on a freelance basis as well. Like the team is growing quite rapidly because with events like this, we work with people on a worker by basis because we understand also we don't like to limit people. Other people have other hobbies that they want to pursue as well. And like a lot of
Yep.
big companies won't allow that. We do. I'm all for people finding their passion. So yeah, a lot of our team are freelancers who work with us, and there are some who border the line between freelance and then full time as well. So it like they might work 5 days a week instead of the traditional every X amount of days a month or stuff like that. So they walk that borderline like sort of line because events are seasonal. So we like people to make sure when we're not planning the event, people are doing their own stuff in between that space as well. Because a lot of it is me who does a lot of the actual prep side of it.
Good. Carney, did you have any more questions?
Yeah, so as much as you can answer, where do you see yourself going in the future with this?
I know exactly where I'm going next year. Yeah, you'll find out very soon.
See, I knew it.
All I'll say is we're making a very special announcement a
Ooh.
week or two after format October. So
Okay.
that answers that question. Like
Mhm.
I'm not going to tell you anymore. I've said it multiple times that we're expanding out of Manchester, and that announcement is very, very close.
Oh
Let's
goodness.
let's just say a special trailer has been finished
Ooh.
2 hours ago, I think it was.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Oh
2 hours
goodness.
ago. You will be finding out very soon the answer to that question.
Oh, very
And
good.
do those at format this year get a sneak peek of that, or is it just for everyone to go when it goes live?
You'll be disappointed in this answer, but only the people who are at our VIP industry party get to
Okay.
see it first. So our industry partners will get to see it, but we will be releasing a teaser a couple of days after format, and then the full announcement comes a week or two after. And then, yeah, you find out where we're going next. You will find out in the latest in early November.
Oh, nice. That's
Now,
not
without giving away too much, will that be in addition to or in replacement of?
In addition to,
Okay.
Hey!
I am a Mancunian born and bred. I will never abandon Manchester. This is my city, and you will have to drag me kicking and screaming if I was to ever leave Manchester. We are the best city in the world, and we are the best city in the UK. So yeah, and there's the northern pride in me coming out there. So it will be in two different cities, is all I'll say. So rather than the traditional two events that we do in Manchester, you will have one event in Manchester and another in a different city.
That's very
Awesome.
cool. I'm looking forward to that announcement. Um,
Yes.
yeah. Chat. Be sure you get your questions in before we wrap up.
Yep.
But my microphone is giving me feedback. So, um, but is there any guest that you've ever guest as in the gaming company? Well, it doesn't matter. Any guest that you just really really wanted but you couldn't get.
Okay. I'm debating whether or not I can talk. There was a game studio who I confirmed for this October event, and let's just say trailers were made for them, videos were made for them, and they sadly had to pull out.
Oh
But
no.
it was a very big studio. It was a very, 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 very big studio, is all I'll say. So when they had to pull out, it was not very nice. Like there was more than a few cuss words said. It was the fact we'd made very specialist trailers for this to be announced. So I can't say who it was, but a dream for me. I'll list you a few. I would love BioWare because I'm a huge BioWare fanboy. I would like the BioWare team to come. I'd love Larian to turn up with Baldur's Gate 3 just because I think that would break the internet if they
Yes.
turned up. like in person. I would love to have those guys with them. I'd also love to have the Activision team turn up with Call of Duty because I just think that
Right.
that would. And listen, if anyone has a contact here, I want Nintendo. Nintendo, please answer my emails. I go to every single event that you are at, and I can never meet a manager. I've been to EGX, I've been to Insomnia. I really want Nintendo. Like, I don't know how to get Nintendo. Like, every time I go to one of these events and I ask for a Nintendo manager, there is never a Nintendo manager at them. It's all agency staff. So please, someone
Yeah.
find a Nintendo.
I maybe I would help you with that. I will
Oh.
send you a message afterwards with someone I know who has a direct line to them, possibly.
Thank you. That would be
Heat with the
appreciated.
man.
I would love our event would complement Nintendo very well.
I think
I'm
so.
sure it would,
For
yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Based on what I saw over Maze, definitely. I think they would be well in for that sort of thing.
If Platonic, who are a
Oh,
massive
yes.
family-friendly publisher, have taken over an entire section. So all I'll say is you will have seen this, Pete. Downstairs is like our main basement show
Yeah.
floor where we have a lot of them. At the back bit, there's like a load of couches and booths that are built into the exhibition space. We call it the couch co-op zone. Platonic.
Was
It
that
was behind.
next to the bar, wasn't it?
Yes. So you go to the bar, and there was some tiny steps that led to the
Mhm.
toilet, and then there was there. Platonic have taken over that entire back row
Oh,
just for
wow.
their product.
Nice.
So,
Very nice.
and if a massive publisher like that wants to come to our events, I'm sure Nintendo would love it. So please, if anyone has a contact at Nintendo, please give me them. 'Cause I want Nintendo.
I'll try my best.
Thank you.
Well, of course, I asked this question of all of our. Well, I was going to say convention, but let's reiterate that format's not a convention. It's an unconventional convention.
We're not unorthodox by nature.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. But I always ask this question. How's the food?
Well, I'll say this: we've got a barbecue at the next one on the beer garden, so you can have a nice little barbecue if you want to. And the food inside the venue is also very good. So there is a in-house catering served up until 9:30, I think it is. Like I think food is served up until then or 10 p.m. And if you want more food, you are in the city of Manchester. We have absolutely everything. But I will give everyone listening to this my personal recommendation. Okay, if it gets late into the evening and everything is shut, do not worry because there is one dark night, one saviour that everyone goes to. If you come out of the venue, down the street there is a blue van. That is a Greek gyro van. It is your best friend. Those
Oh,
men.
they're so good.
Did you try one?
I've had one before elsewhere, but similar
No,
sort of thing. But my
no,
God,
these guys are different. These guys are
okay.
So they are. It is well known fact that if you are a night out in Manchester, you will end up at this van. These guys knew what they were doing. Like, I'm convinced these guys must make something like nearly 10 grand a night, like when they're open, because on his weekend night, because it is just a queue of people wanting these gyros, and it's full with chips, chicken, pork. And it's so nice. And it was really funny, in fact, because I remember like after the event finished and I was scrolling through the hundreds of notifications we had on Twitter. It was just people like posting their way home and they're all holding these Greek gyros. And I was just like, yep, there we go. Yeah, everyone found the gyro van. So yeah, the gyro van.
Could you say it's a potential partnership later on down the line then?
I actually have a food partner in the works. So if people who like Caribbean food for our city and our next will be very good. The venue we're working with is I'm not gonna say anything else. I'm not gonna say anything else. No,
Yeah.
I'll get in trouble. No, that's all I'll say. We have got some very good food partners.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Whilst I didn't sample the food at Format in May, they did look very good. There was a moment where I was stood next to the kitchen and it looked incredible. I was so tempted.
They won the food porn awards in Possible. I think it was the food porn awards of 2021 or something.
The fact that there is a food porn awards is just outstanding.
I am all over that. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, their chef is pretty damn good, if I do say so myself.
Oh my goodness! Oh man, I am looking
forward to it. If you like your halloumi fries, your fat, filthy burgers and chicken burgers.
Yes.
Yeah. They've got everything. They do a mean Sunday roast as well. Like they do good. You can't get a Sunday roast. I've never. I would find it very funny if an attendee actually got a Sunday roast, but I've yet to see a single person order the Sunday roast at Format yet.
Oh no, that would be.
There's always next year.
Exactly.
Or this year. Who knows? Now that you've put it out there, someone might do it.
Yeah, I want someone to order the Sunday roast just so I
my
can see
goodness.
someone eating a Sunday roast.
Well, if I come next year, I will definitely give it an attempt. If you haven't seen it by then, I'll be the first.
There you go.
Hey,
We talk about Sunday roast on this show a lot. In fact, I think we talked about it just last week, Pete.
Sunday roasts are the thing. Like, they are the best thing ever. It is
They
like,
are.
Well,
if someone had asked me to pick one British dish to show to the
that's
world,
what we
it
were
would
talking
be
about.
Sunday roast.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Yeah.
literally what we were talking about because
You cannot beat a Sunday roast.
we were talking about how, for some reason, on the internet, they do the worst foods of like Britain. Like, you know, they say, "Oh, I would never eat British food," and then they show like eels or something. And then, you know, Pete's like, "Yeah, but you can't beat a Sunday roast." And to be fair, yeah, you can. I've been here now, and you can't. Sunday roast is amazing.
You won't get a Sunday roast anywhere else in the world that's the way the British do it.
Yeah, give me
No.
all the gravy, all of it. I just want gravy. I don't care.
I don't understand how anyone can eat a dry roast dinner. How
Oh.
can you not put gravy on it?
No, God, no, that's awful.
Oh, gravy's the best.
Right, I think we're coming towards the end. So, chat, if you've got any last pressing questions, then please put them in chat. Or forever hold your peace.
So, do you see yourself, and this is kind of a leading question, but I don't care. Do you see yourself and format existing, let's say, forever, or do you have an end game?
Oh, we have an end goal. We have an end goal. Like, the thing is, as well, journeys change all the time. So the original scope of what I wanted to create has actually increased. So my goal was originally to create the UK's biggest games industry nightlife event. We've surpassed that now. Like, we've done that. We're going multi-regional now. So we've leveled up effectively. So I would like to say what that definitive end goal is. Like, I understand what the ultimate end goal is, and we always work towards that, but things like change all the time. So the goal itself, like, we've kind of more or less achieved what our original goal was. Now we're amplifying that and we're scoping bigger in scope. Our ultimate end goal is to become the warehouse project of video games next, and that would be just a massive music festival but for video games effectively. So we have like best like music headliners on stage, but whilst you've also got your best game studios at the same time, content creators live streaming in dedicated zones, which is kind of what we've already done at Format October. Like, you've got literally a whole night of music performers and DJs performing live for you on stage, whilst you've also got the content creator lounge where people are going to be live streaming all evening. But then you've got the video game studio, so we've already accomplished that, but it's just taking what we've already done and putting it in a much bigger, grander space now, ultimately, which is the end goal.
That's amazing.
Which is what the other city provides us with.
Okay.
One of my favorite content creators is over there. I should probably message him. I know he's been to something over there, but I don't remember if it was Format or not. He should go to Format. So
we are still taking applications until next Friday. So if you are a creator and want to apply, you have till next Friday.
Okay.
Do you want to give everyone the link to do so I can pop it in the chat as well?
It is just our website, format.gg. It is on the contact page. If you just hit through the contact page and, you know, select the business option, content creator, you can apply.
Excellent.
Yeah, so for those who have their bingo cards up, I'm talking about the fabulous Krusty. So mark your bingo card.
Oh, how did I know?
Yeah, so it's a running joke because I love content creators, and so I mention them every week. And this week you got two, so you got Call Me Kevin and the fabulous Krusty.
Hey.
Yeah, so do you see Format ever, let's say, changing into anything, I'm going to say different than a rave for nerds, or are you going to maintain that as the core?
That will always be a core principle. Like, you know, we are always discussing things internally about whether to add a daytime element of the event. And, like, you know, the original concept always, like, for example, it was always meant to just be this one big night, and now it's 3 evenings. We never originally planned to have a dedicated industry night where all of our exhibitors, sponsors, partners could do that. Now that's a permanent feature of the event. We never originally planned for there to be an after party. Now there's an after party the day after. So things constantly change, but the ultimate sort of core of identity of what format it is, which is a nightlife event for nerds, has never changed. But certain elements that are attached onto the event have been added. So basically, additions have been added rather than the ultimate end goal, if that makes sense. So there's just basically more nights now, effectively. But we toy with a lot of things. So I can't promise that the thing won't change because things naturally change and they adapt as they get on. But we'll never lose track of our original mission, which is we will not become a capitalistic game expo. That will never happen. That is not going to happen, period. Not under my watch, anyway, because I can guarantee you right now, and I've said to the team, if you ever see me considering putting a vendor on that sells those shitty plastic swords, sack them on the spot, because if I ever walk into any expo or any show and I see one of those merchants, I know exactly what I've gone into. We all know which ones I'm talking about.
I saw enough of them this weekend.
I honestly think there should be a ban on those vendors. Like I order them online. If you want a sword, go order one online. Like no, those things get on my nerves. I'm not hating on people. I know you've got to make money at the end of the day, but we've had enough. We've had enough of the plastic sword sent vendors.
I'm also sure there's enough of them in landfill sites everywhere as well. We don't need that on our books.
I mean, there's Etsy. Go on Etsy. Like you don't have to, like people don't go to conventions to buy plastic swords.
No,
they go to play games. Like so that will never happen under my watch. I can guarantee you. It will never ever become a big expo. It will not become what I said earlier, a farmers market for the games industry. It will always be at its core a social event for every person who is a part of the games industry, whether you're a gamer, a game developer, or a content creator.
Perfect.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah, and I think that's going to basically do us. So, Simran, do you want to just let everyone know either where they can find yourself on social media, the show itself, and any other things that you want to just mention?
Yeah, of course. Feel free to follow myself if you want. I will warn you, my accounts are literally just me resharing format posts. So, and I do I go on a lot. I like to travel a lot as well, and I eat a lot of food. So, if you want to see pretty scenery, food, or just see me resharing format stuff, you can literally find all my social media is my name. It is the easiest thing ever. It is just at Simran Whitham. I'm very easy to find on every single social platform. And then if you want to actually follow the event itself, it's at Format GG on everything, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram, TikTok, it's Format GG. We're very easy to find. And if you want to come to the event itself, go on our website, format.gg, and you can buy tickets to both our main event and also our after party as well, which is available on our site, or we're also available on Skiddle.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for coming on. It's been a pleasure actually discussing this with you and finally putting a face to the name that I've heard so many times over the last few months.
All good, I hope.
All good.
Yes. No, I've never found a person who said a bad word about you and your event. Everyone I've spoken to has given it glowing praise, myself included.
And all the people who come also, I love all of you as well, because it is you people who make our mission possible. The people who turned up, whether you're one of the original 150 or you've all joined, it's them that make it. It is the gamers, the content creators, and the game developers that make our events possible. So I owe them the biggest thanks, not the other way around.
That's very awesome. Well, for our listeners out there, don't forget that you can join us over at twitch.tv/rapid reviews. Because we are going to, while we're going to wrap up the podcast portion, but we're going to stick around for a few more minutes for the after show, which is exclusive to our Twitch stream, so come check it out. We want to thank you for joining us. Pete, do you have any closing words before I end the podcast portion?
Other than please go and check out Format and support Simran and his team for all the great work that they've done putting this together. I'm sure there's a lot of hours been put in. So go and get involved in an event if you absolutely love to just have fun, because that was the main thing that I took away from it. It was just good fun with good people.
Oh, I like that. Good fun with good people. I actually like what Simran said, which is, you find your tribe or whatever, and that's what like I'm all about that because it's very difficult when you're a nerd, especially if you're a nerd girl. So I love going and finding my tribe. And yes, Pete, is that true? Are you on Magus's channel this week or the next week?
I thought it was beginning of November, but I might.
Yeah,
I
double
did
check.
have a discussion. No, I had a discussion with him over the weekend, so I will talk to you about that privately.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just keep tuned for that. Anyway, so we're going to wrap this part up. We thank you so much for joining us, you lovely, wonderful chat, and our lovely, lovely listeners. Oh, and a quick thank you to our listeners and watchers from last week. You guys really came through. Pete and I made a plea, and you guys came through. If you could come through again this week, that would be also cool. But everyone's busy. We totally understand that. But if you want to bump up our Spotify numbers, that would be really nice. And also, Pete, I think, does some interactive stuff over on Spotify now.
Yeah, there's a bit Q&A stuff,
Yeah.
and sometimes questions related to that. So if you are listening on Spotify, have a look back into the description. There should be like a Q&A or some sort of poll in there.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay, so we're literally, honestly, gonna wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you and talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thus ends the podcast portion. I waited long enough, Pete.
You did. I appreciate the gap this time.
I did. And we will stick around for maybe 5+ minutes.
Yeah.
Because chat seems to be fading. We are a little bit late tonight, but that's my fault. I think it was partly my fault.
No, that's my fault. But technically it's my dog's fault, but
yeah, but
no,
dogs are allowed to do whatever they want. They rule the world.
They are man's best friend for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, we owe it to them. We domesticated them. The least we can do. The least we can do is look after them.
Exactly.
Now, what would we say about cats? Did we domesticate them, or did they domesticate themselves?
They domesticated themselves. Like, I think, because don't forget, the ancient Egyptians worshipped them. I think they were just like, "Yo, this is a good deal. Like, should we just like let them look after us? Yeah, like they give us milk and stuff. Like, should we just like?" I think they just thought, well, there's no point in surviving. These people will just feed us.
Yeah, exactly.
And sleep 18 hours a day in a warm house and not have to worry about predators? Yeah, sounds like a good deal.
Wow, I really am a cat. I just need somebody to feed me now.
I'm gonna go feed myself soon, and by that I mean feed myself more alcohol.
Oh yes. Well, I drank an entire bottle of wine while you guys were talking, and I had a little bottle of cognac.
How the hell have you got through a whole bottle of wine and I didn't even notice this week?
I'm very talented.
Oh, is that what I saw you doing when you were like, whoa.
Oh man, that sneak level has gone up well beyond 100.
I think we need to re-edit this podcast and do the sneak that bar in Skyrim go up by like 1. Yes. Like when that happens.
Increased my sneak.
We just need that little drum beat as well every time it happens.
Boy, do we need a new Elder Scrolls.
Oh, hey, Rob.
Oh, no, Rob, hey. Right at the tail end.
Yeah, he has a habit of turning up at the back end. And that's not a euphemism.
But Rob would also enjoy format. I don't remember where Rob is located. Because he told us when he was on last time.
He did, yeah, and I'm blanking now.
I am blanking too, which is good because we won't reveal your location.
Yeah, but actually, he's done it in the chat anyway, so I'm not saying it.
I don't know where that's at.
It's in Yorkshire somewhere.
Too American to know.
Where in Yorkshire?
Sorry?
Oh, Yorkshire. I love York.
Yeah.
Rob says it's on Earth. Yes, thanks, Rob. There's a Halifax in Virginia. I know that much.
There's also a London in Canada.
Oh, there is. Yeah.
Well, there's a Manchester in America as well.
All right, is there?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
And then there's New England as well, which very inventive on the name there.
Yeah.
I mean, New England, New York, Boston, you know, just stealing names. You know, didn't like the English enough to stay here. Just decided to nick all the names.
Not to throw a bit of shade here or anything. They couldn't even name their own country originally. United Kingdom, United States. Yeah. Oh, come on. At least just call it America. Like, just call it like, not the United States. Come on, like, really?
We're
How
not a
did they come up
creative
with-
people.
No,
But
really.
it is true. All of New England, all the East Coast, it's all British names, just up and
Yep.
down. Up and
Have
down.
you ever seen that TikTok that went like viral years ago where it's like English map going, right, America, how do we pronounce rubbish? Rubbish. And it just goes, trash.
Trash.
And it's like, no, you're saying it wrong. It is rubbish. Trash.
Yes.
I do have a pressing question for about Americanisms.
Mhm.
You know, you guys call trousers pants.
Okay, see, that's what I wanted to bring up.
What do you call shorts? Do you call them short pants?
No, we don't call them short pants. We just call them shorts. But the one Americanism I can't give up is pants. First of all, I love the word pants. But to me, everything is pants. And then people look at me and they're like, oh, and I'm like, oh, no, not underwear. I mean pants. Like,
My partner's sister like ranted at me recently because I've been saying an American word my whole life and I actually didn't realize it was the American pronunciation. I used to say simultaneously, not simultaneously.
oh, goodness.
No one has ever corrected me on this my whole life.
It is
So
simultaneous.
we always forget that a lot of the media we watch today is American.
Yes.
Like,
It is.
and I've never realised that distinction that British people say simultaneously, not simultaneously. And the church went, why do you say simultaneously? And I was like, isn't that what people say? She was like, no, it's simultaneously. I was like,
Oh,
am I wrong? She said, I've wanted to tell you for so
Simultaneous.
long. My girlfriend.
Simultaneous. Go ahead.
No, my girlfriend looked at me and I was like, do I say, is that right? And she went, I've wanted to tell you for so long.
and Rob comes in with a really bad joke here. Says simultaneously.
Oh, very good.
Oh, no, that's not even bad. I applaud that.
Okay, all right. I say
Yeah.
that.
But simultaneously schedule.
No, it's scheduling. Isn't it?
It's aluminium, not aluminum.
No, that was my next one. Was
No,
aluminum.
it's aluminium. It's aluminium.
Aluminum.
There is an American podcast that I have listened to where actually the Americans did admit that like aluminium does sound better.
It does sound better, but it's still aluminum because we invented it. Because usually when I pronounce things wrong, everyone around here goes, "We invented the language, so we get to say what's right." I was like, "Fine, whatever."
I mean, you can't even use the argument anymore because the creator of the GIF calls it GIF, but he didn't spell it.
Oh, that's
It stands for graphical interface, whatever the F is, I forget. Which is clearly GIF, not GIF, because it's graphical.
So it doesn't really matter who created it. It's all about how you spell it that matters the most, evidently. Like, I'll tell you what my big one is, and this is my really big one, and Brits and Americans both do it. It pisses me off. You know what? It's been socially accepted as the right answer, and it pisses me off that people accept it. People who say assume instead of assume. There is no H. Stop saying it with a H.
Yes.
There is no assume. I hate that.
Assume. Yes.
I agree with you. Yes.
People, and it's become so common. I'd say majority of people around me say assume, and I can't correct every single one of them without looking like an asshole. And I mean, it gets me like. No, I swear that's the one word that gets you. When someone says assume, that bit of me grits my teeth, and I'm just like,
I have to stay quiet.
You say assume, don't you, Pete?
I do not actually. Funnily enough, I was always told for many years how to assume is to make an ass out of you and me. So that's how I always remember how to spell and pronounce it.
Oh my goodness, I still can't spell restaurant, so there we go. There's a lot of words I can't spell actually. Even sober. But
what, you can't spell sober? Is that because you're drunk every time you try and spell it?
I'm drunk 24/7. I'm in Ireland. God, and I have to get up and go to a workout tomorrow after promising to only drink 3 glasses of wine.
I mean, I promised myself I'd only have 1 can today, and I'm on my 5th.
Well, see, there you go. Yes, see, poor Pete, he doesn't drink. I say poor Pete.
Fine.
I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said poor
No,
Pete.
you're fine. You can go and tell your gym person that I did none of the drinking for you.
There you go. No, I have to run in the morning. Me run? No, I lift heavy things and I punch things. I don't run. But we do thank our chat for joining us. I think we're gonna wrap this up because look, let's be honest, Pete, what did you go 3 days?
2 days, but yesterday was a 6 o'clock start and today was a 6:30 start.
That's AM, not PM.
And
for everyone.
Okay, so to put it into perspective, over the last 2 days, I've done over 30,000 steps.
Holy crap, that's very good though.
I'm actually curious how many I did at EGX. Sorry, before we wrap this up, I'm actually curious. I want to see how many I actually did. Hang on, what is it? Where is the app now? Where is Samsung Health?
Oh, I used to use Samsung Health.
I've got that one too.
Got the watch now, that'll do.
This thing, I had to change the band because I lost so much weight. The other one was too loose.
I want to see how
How's it going?
My steps are exact. Okay, here we go. So on Friday, I did 12,505 steps on that 1 day at EGX.
It's not bad going.
Yeah.
That's well above. Yep.
Yeah. Look, mine doesn't count because that also includes a walk between London Bridge and over Tower Bridge and that. So it's like, yeah.
Oh goodness. See, I get to learn all this stuff next year. I'm just gonna like show up in London and be like, okay, where the convention's at?
Well, I can give you some good advice on that. There's plenty of hotels around the area anyway, so you don't have to walk too far.
Or maybe come to the north because the south has too many events anyway. Come to some of our events.
I'm not going to disagree with that. The south does have far too many events. You need more northern representation.
I will say this. I used to be in roller derby before lockdown, and we hosted the Manchester girls over here, and they were so much fun because we always have after parties, and oh my gosh, I think they were probably the funnest people to party with. We had a good time. Also, very tall girls, which was nice because I'm over here in Ireland where everyone's about 5'7" and I'm not. So it was good to have people that were my height. But I think we're gonna wrap it up unless anyone's got anything else to add. Oh, there's Mike Tindo. Just arrived in Norfolk now. Sorry for missing most of the show. You're okay, Mike.
You are fine.
But Norfolk is also in Virginia. So
Sorry, what did you just say? Norfolk.
Yeah, what do you say?
Norfolk.
Norfolk. Not Norfolk.
Norfolk.
No, Norfolk.
Yeah, exactly. It just doesn't sound right to me.
Although before we conclude, I do have to let the chat argue who's correct here.
Yeah.
I think they're all on your side.
How do you pronounce the substance that comes out of your kitchen tap?
Water.
Yeah, water.
It's water.
Well, I know it. I'm Southern, so I'm therefore.
I'm joking.
Actually, Rob, it's funny because he says water, which is actually how a lot of Texans pronounce water. Water. Yeah. So that's funny. That's funny right there.
Like the it's fucking water.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike says bottled water.
I've just noticed that the British accent becomes like more aggressive, like the further you go up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because when you get to Scotland,
I was
oh
gonna-
boy.
I was gonna say. Oh, but I do love it. That's my whole family. They have Scottish accents, so I'm like, oh, I'm there for it.
It's got the Scouse accent that the rest of Britain refuses to acknowledge. No, I actually love Liverpool. No hate to Scousers. I actually love your city so much. It's a beautiful city.
I spent quite a bit of yesterday with someone from Ireland who lives in Liverpool, so he's got a bit of the twang of the both. So it's like that is awkward to understand at times.
Oh, that would be very tough to understand.
Yeah. But yeah.
Oh goodness.
I got a little love for the Scouts.
Yeah, I've
They're
only met one. So.
They're actually some of the most friendly people. Mancunians
Oh,
and Scousers, in my opinion, are the most friendly people in all of the north of England.
Yeah, I did say that the hospitality in Manchester is something I've never really experienced anywhere down here, ever.
It's because, to use the famous quote, the south has all the money, but the north has all the fun.
Can't disagree.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, we're a bunch of boring folks down here.
Very first on this podcast, if you want fun, it's in the north, and i.e. formats in the north. So if you want fun from a game, come to the north.
Oh, that should just be it. Come to the north. But I think we're gonna wrap it up, even though our lovely chat has dropped in.
Sorry, Rob. You've got a full episode to watch.
I was gonna say Rob and Mike Tindo, they both showed up.
Well, to be fair, Mike, I did know about that. He did say he was going to catch us later, so I forgot that he was actually driving to Norfolk, though.
Norfolk.
Oh, that just sounds like you're trying to swear.
No, you know what you're trying to do? Like a rip-off Somerset. Norfolk. Norfolk.
Oh, Kylie, have you by any chance ever heard a West Country accent?
Only from Bill Bailey. So.
Okay, all right, cool.
Because he did a whole Mr. Frodo thing, and it cracked me up. So.
Well, that would be why Mike didn't mention it. It was a last-minute thing. Fair enough. Well, enjoy Norfolk.
Yeah.
Or Norfolk.
As we say in America. Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up because poor Pete, he's gotta get to bed. And I have to run in the morning. But I'll probably still drink more. But anyway, thank you guys for joining us. It's been an amazing episode. I hope you guys are all hyped for format. I know I freaking am. Like, that is no joke. Kind of sad I can't make it this time, but I will be making all of the ones next year. Especially when I find out where that new location's gonna be. Thank you so much. And again, since a couple of you just joined us, thank you guys for coming through last week and listening to us and watching us and spreading the love and all of that kind of stuff. If you do it again this week, that'd be great. Our Spotify's not doing so well, but it's okay. You guys are still amazing. Okay, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.